But my name is Rizal. Welcome on board and welcome to March 2021 AMF session with AL Training. I'll be your incomplete leader host. So guys, be ready. Let's go. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of things we're going to be talking about, but first thing that I would like to do is ask you guys a question. This is very important. This really sets the tone for the day. So, question time. If there is one thing you would change or improve on in your leadership style, what would it be? There's one thing that you want to change. One thing. You can't be that you're super perfect. There's one thing that you want to change. Now, I will ask you live, but you can also put in your comments on the chat function too. Since we've got a lot of people in here, I know there's a lot of friendly people. Let's go and reach out to the AL training guys because they're dying to help out. So maybe I'm gonna ask Jade. Jade, she's always smiling and happy. Jade, if you wanna change or improve your leadership style, what would it be? One thing only. Let's see, Jade. Tell me.
I would say my first response to a question, probably like when
Oh,
someone asks a question, maybe like a compliment instead of going straight into the question. Oh, that's a good question. Probably just to remind myself to compliment someone for bringing up a question.
oh, how come you didn't say it to me?
Rita.
Okay, very good, very good. Nice. Now I got a few people here on the list here. Let's ask, oh, hi Sheila, you're on. Hey Melissa, what about yourself? Oh, there you've written that be more expressive when sharing my thoughts and opinions, not too amiable and quiet. Ah, all right. So the question is, if there's one thing you would change or improve on in your leadership style, what would it be? All right. So be more expressive and then compliment when you ask a question. Very good, Jade. Let's get one more. I'm interested. Let's see, Faisal. Faisal, any thoughts on your side? If you're unable to speak, you can always, type away your thoughts because this is very important. I want to be more ganas because I tend to be too friendly or nice. Alamak, nak delicate pun sometimes think too much. Story of my life. Oh, okay, I understand that. Oh dear, I know. I truly appreciate it. Truly appreciate it. Everybody don't want to be the bad guy. Yeah. Um. Now, don't that's good. That's what I wanted to hear from people. The key point that I wanted to highlight is it's never enough, right? We always have something we want to improve on, and that is absolutely normal, right? That is all about the incomplete leader being able to know where you can improve on, what your weaknesses are, and what your blind spots are. All right. Want to improve in my task delegation, need to trust people more. Ah, trust issue. Okay. Trust issue. That one's very hard. But never mind. There'll be a few things here that we can talk about that can relate to that. So don't worry. All right. So since I've got quite a lot of stuff that I prepared for you today, and there'll be plenty more of engagement. So this is what is on the menu today. So I got three things that I really want to talk about. First thing first is that are we all natural born leaders? Are we born a leader? Some people are born in the USA. Not really. Uh, old man joke. Some people think that I cannot be a leader because it was never in me. Ugh. And that's common. Not only you don't you would have that question asked in yourself. And if you do ask that question, that's already a very good step forward. And next part within the whole session today, I'll be giving you a snapshot of what is the incomplete leader about. What is in the incomplete leader's mind? So that what's in my mind here that I have that is incomplete. Always tak cukup. All right. And finally, how can you make a difference? How do you make a difference when you have learned to a few of the stuff that we talk about today? All right. And the last part, we'll have a Q&A session where people can ask away questions about, oh, hi, Azro, I can see you loud and clear. Very nice background as well. All right. So let's move on to the first part here. How am I a leader? What sets us apart from the rest? Are we born to be leaders? So this one here, I want to ask everyone, right? How do you define yourself? Do you consider yourself to be a leader? If you say yes, if you think yes, can you type yes in the chat room? If you think you're a leader. If you're not a leader, you say no. If you're not sure, you can also say not sure. Let's try. Let's type in the chat room. Just say, I want to see. Yes. Okay. Very good. I like that. Ivan. Yes, but incomplete lah. Alamak, don't sell too hard. Okay, chill, chill. Anyone else? Yes, Sheila. Sheila. Oh, yes. Dina. Wow, this not all leaders ni. Very good. Yes. Still learning. Awesome. We wanna see that. Later on, you realize that one of the key points for the incomplete leader is actually the journey. Yes, still lots of room for improvement. We always need to improve. How much do we need to improve? That's the question, isn't it? Okay, very good. So at least we know that some of you, acknowledge that you guys are leader and some on the way. Okay, on the way, that's fine. But just please don't Malaysian on the way lah. Okay, Malaysian on the way, pergi makan kat Bangsa on the way from Penang. Okay, macam mana? Tak boleh. Ayo, kan? Tak sampai-sampai. All right. So here are a few things that I wanted to share with everyone. That how do you know if I'm a leader? I got these 4 things that I thought that's very cool, very simple. If you sort of tick the boxes, then technically you're a leader. I don't care whether you're a manager, a senior manager, deputy prime minister, New Zealand minister, tak kisah. Okay, as long as you have these things. So the first thing, right? Anybody who is always doing the right things, it's about knowing that what is the best way forward. Pernah tak dengan you punya kawan-kawan, hari ni nak makan apa lunch ah? Tak tahu ah. It's okay, never mind. I mean, yesterday kita makan nasi goreng, hari ni kita pergi western. Ta-da! One hint, you're potentially a leader. Let's look at the next point. EQ. Oof, emotional intelligence, being able to try on someone's shoe, not actually put yourself in someone's shoe, to try. It doesn't matter whether you understand or not, as long as you try. Macam nak try kasut ni macam kecil je, sebab tu I tak faham dia. Tak apa. The effort and action that you do to try and understand someone, that makes you already a person who is a leader. Second one, lead by example, walk the talk, do what needs to be done. So when a person, when you're in a group, you face a problem, and you go and tell them, guys, okay, never mind. I know that we're not sure how to do this. Let's try this. Let me give it a go. Okay, you don't have to be an expert. You don't have to be great about it. But if you're the one that is starting to show the way, you're leading by example. Dun, dun, dun. Hint number 3, that you are already a leader. And last but not least, it should be an addiction. This should be an addiction, which is never to stop learning, constantly learning. If you always feel that, that tahun I had a checklist, I want to learn something. I want to learn about people. I want to learn about management. I want to learn about leadership. I want to learn about Jananik. Okay, so those are things that you always want to improve. That is one of the hints that you're a leader. Okay, so these are my 4 very simple checkpoints. So if you're not a manager, even if you don't have a title, you have these 4 things, is already very good. Now, the incomplete leader, what about it? What's his fascination with being incomplete? Why is it crucial that we understand our own incompleteness? So this is the thing that I've always been studying all this while. I've held management roles for at least 17 years. And everywhere I go, I'm always learning and I always fall back. All right. So the easiest way to explain this, right, is you remember that saying when we were much younger, mandi tak basah, makan tak kenyang, tidur tak lena. Yang paling baru, WhatsApp tak jawab. Right? So what happens then? You're sad, sedih. But you think about it. When those things happen, what happens next? What do? You try and do something. You try to take an action. Okay? Kalau mandi tak basah, mandi lagi banyak air lah. Kalau makan tak kenyang, I sumbat lagi banyak. Kalau WhatsApp tak jawab, I call pergi stop. Okay, so you take the action. For people who just accept that as it is, you are falling back. You're not pushing yourself forward. Okay, if you feel incomplete, you won't feel satisfied, and if you don't feel satisfied, you won't push yourself. All right. So now, do you agree with that? Okay, I hope that you understand where the incomplete leader comes from. Knowing where to satisfy your needs, knowing that you are incomplete in certain areas, and then try to fill in the gaps. Now, some of you may have followed me on LinkedIn. So if you have, I mentioned it, I think yesterday. WabiSabi, not wasabi. Okay, so WabiSabi is a term that I learned when I was in Japan. Very, very important term. I didn't know what it was. And when I was there, got confused. I even asked for one wabi-sabi piece dekat restaurant owner tu. Owner cakap, apa ni peliknya. Okay, no. Actually, wabi-sabi is a very beautiful term. This is what it says. Yeah, it's a worldview centered on the acceptance of transience and imperfection. Okay, and I put the picture of the cup on the side. And did you know that a cup in Japanese is called chawan? Funny irony. So chawan, and if you look at the chawan there, or the cup, it's imperfect and it's designed. It's been made by hand, and they got this process where they color it and they leave it to in an oven to. Oh, you haven't seen the cup. Sorry, my bad. So the cup is imperfect, and you can clearly see that it's not symmetrical. So that's where it's unique. All right, and wabi-sabi is about being able to understand that this is only a temporary position. That's what transience means, temporary or transition period. Okay, and then you know that it's imperfect, but you value it anyway, and you know that it's only temporary. So wabi-sabi is actually everywhere. In Malaysia, we will call it differently: being grateful, bersyukur, by acceptance. Okay, so the complete leader is all about wabi-sabi. All right. And then this is just a bit about, the incomplete leader roadmap. So I don't know if you've seen this writing before. For those who probably can read Mandarin, may be able to understand, but it's actually the Japanese writing for Kaizen. And this is actually my own learning roadmap. Rizal learns by learning the content, running trials, and then having going through errors, rejigging it, refining it, and success. But generally, my journey has always been very unique. And the trick is to know where the imperfection is and to use that as reference. So you see, Rizal always learn, and he tries something, and then he realizes an error. He goes back and try again, and then got another error. He does another trial and have another error, and then suddenly he go and learn back again. He tries it, goes through another error. He rejigs it. He goes another error, and then once he finds a sweet spot, he refined the thing, and only then he achieves success. Yes, I know. So that's a true meaning of Kaizen, which is continuous improvement. And then we as leaders, there's no such thing as one person who knows the answer. You need to do a lot of trial error, and then soul searching. So do not despise imperfection, but you learn and enjoy that journey. That's the most important part. Okay. All right. So remember, the outcome is important, but the journey is priceless. All right. Okay, so guys, if you agree with that, if you agree with me that the journey is important, please type yes, I agree. Please type yes, I agree. I dah macam buat sales ni. Yes, I agree. Lepas ni RM10 discount. Okay, guys, can you please type in the chat room? Yes, I agree. Yes, agree. Very good, Putri. Thank you so much, Ivan. Lepas ni, Darwin's going to send a form for all you guys to sign up with a discount. Oh dear. All right. Good, good, good. Jokes aside, it is a very important point. Anyone who has worked with me in projects or in my previous role, whether it be in Australia, Japan, and Malaysia, I'm very democratic. I like to get opinion, and I love empowering. Partly because I don't have specific knowledge. I'm a generalist by heart. So I only know bits and pieces, and I like the journey of trying to solve something. I think that's more important than the outcome. All right, so let's step into it. I'm going to give you an insight to some of the key points that the incomplete leader focuses on. So let's have a look. The first one here is pivoting. Pivoting. All right, so pivoting. Let's ask away. I want to ask away some of the audience here. Let's ask Jane Pua. What does pivoting mean to you? What does pivoting mean to you? You can either answer there or live. That's also good.
Hi, Rizal.
Yo.
Pivoting, I'm not too sure. I know pivot table.
Hi, me too.
I appreciate your explanation more on this, please. Thank you.
Okay, no worries. I know, right? So Rizal also like, okay, let's look at pivot meaning. And then keluar semua Excel pivot table lah. Ayo. Okay, that's fine. Let's see if anyone else, may Azrul, Irwan, because you have a nice background, I really want to ask you, what's pivoting? What do you think it means?
I'd be the same as Jin. I'm not sure what it means really.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Oh, Melissa came up with flexing your style. Yes. Flexing, that's very important. Flex ni macam bengkok kan. Boleh kona sana boleh. Okay. Anyone else? Any idea? Pivoting? Okay. Doing something different. Nice. Nice. Very, very close. Not very close. In fact, that is definitely the meaning. So if I'm okay, change direction sharply like a cheetah. Oh yes, yes, tengah kejar. Okay, so I mean change direction sharply like a cheetah is like people that are going to clubs. You know, they go to club, they see something they like, they change direction cepat-cepat. Sama juga. Okay, moving left and right with your shoulders. Itu bukan pivoting, itu goyang. Okay, never mind. Let's have a look. Pivoting, right? Basically is changing course. Yeah, almost 180. We don't want to say 360, but you change your direction very, very differently, very, very drastically. Yeah, and it's very key. All right. So one thing I always say is about Kona here and Kona there. So you Kona when you're driving a car, you Kona. If you've seen rally drivers are very good at turning extreme angles. So in one of my LinkedIn posts, I actually said that's pivoting, and a lot of people agreed that yeah, you're actually just changing directions very, very aggressively, and it's very dangerous. But let me share with you some of the pivot things that I've done throughout my career. So I've journeyed across the seas, literally. I was born in the UK, raised in Malaysia, high school in Penang, moved to Australia, did my degree and worked and my master's, then moved to Japan, altogether 14 years. In that 14 years, I only came back to Malaysia once for 13 days, plus minus kapal terbang time. So I've always been jumping around and trying different things. And that really made me pivot, not by choice, but almost by circumstances, because every time I go somewhere, I got to try different things. But I had that desire to go and try different things. Okay. And I enjoy being around people, and I always like to learn about how people think and processes. Now, this one's very weird. Why do I pivot? Because of process. If most of you who know me, I'm an accountant by practice, but I ended up not practicing accountancy. Because why? Because Asian families always want their sons to do doctor, engineer, lawyer, accounting. So I chose the one that I thought that had a lot of money. But in the end, you count someone else's money, not yours. Change in SOP kindness at hotels. Okay. Interesting. All right. So everywhere I go, I'm influenced by the people around me. I'm influenced by the mindset of leaders and how people do things. So from Australia, very open ideas, very big, trying different things, very inward looking. You go to Japan, very strict, structured process, very detailed, and heavily reliant on the leaders. So I learned so many things there and made me very excited. Come back to Malaysia and I joined a big global law firm, and that's a pure multinational, absolute high performing culture organization. So process really drove me. And then last but not least, pivoting, you need to find your passion. So this is the one that later on I will speak a lot about in my book, which is trying to find your sweet spot. This will drive you above your fifth gear, which is your turbo gear, your nitrous oxide in your car. That's when you find your passion. So what happens if I don't want to pivot? All right. So a lot of people think that pivoting is about, changing careers, but actually pivoting can be as simple as I change from Android to iPhone. That's pivoting. You know, I move from Astro to Netflix. That's sort of pivoting as well. Best change ever. Correct. I mean, and then, but of course, on the serious one is that you don't necessarily have to change job. You change your style, you change your mindset, you change your approach, you change your leadership style. That's a big pivot. Don't just go and change and pivot, in one go and change careers without doing any research. Understand yourself first, see your strengths and weaknesses, and then make that changes there. When you feel that you can do more, then you go for the big pivot. Small, cute little pivots leads to big pivots. All right. So I want to now just going to have a short pause. I'm going to ask away. Share with us your biggest pivot moment. So I want to know from you guys where in your career that you have made a big pivot. Yeah. Even if it's not your career, something that you've never done before, you try. Let's go in the crowd. Let's find out. I got let's see, Owen Young. If you can answer live, that'd be great. If you can't, you can type it away. Share with us your biggest pivot moment. And guys, everyone else, you don't have to wait. You can always chat away. Put in your comments on the chat function. I want to know where have you pivoted, because this is actually very important. Anyone? Owen not available.
Hi,
Owen, yes.
hi Rizal.
Yo.
Maybe I can share because I didn't manage to answer the pivot just now, kan, so maybe I can contribute to this one lah.
All right, good.
I think the biggest pivot moment for me would be when I decided to join a not-for-profit organization like what I'm doing right now.
Oh,
From the likes of the bigger organizations, like I was from Bazana, and then
wow.
later on I went on to Maxis, and then I decided macam, probably, all this big money stuff is not for me, because I wanted something a bit more fulfilling with my life. I want to know, like, macam, my existence in life has
Yeah.
actually led to people, what do you call that, getting something out of my existence in the world. So yeah,
Yeah.
just to share a little
Okay.
bit. Yeah.
So there's a passion towards, giving back to people. That's something that you find fulfillment in. Brilliant.
Yeah, purpose. Yeah.
Brilliant. Nice, nice, nice. That's a true pivot, because you're going from corporate, very push towards end results and accountability. Then suddenly you're jumping into, CSR per se, looking at giving back. Brilliant. Okay, so we got other comments here. Uh, Ivan from operation to marketing and customer service. Wow, that one's crazy, because when you're talking about marketing and customer service, it's people oriented. Operations very inwards. That's very different, if I'm correct, Ivan. Yes. I'm very keen to know why. Okay. And then I got Ivan Tan. I'm pronouncing your name correctly. From sales to coaching and training. That one's very complementary. Someone who does sales, once you do it a few times, you learn the ropes. You got your tricks in the bag. You're doing coaching and training. That's sort of like hand in hand. Owen, my favorite pivoting moment was when I decided to take a chance from moving from KL City to Sabah to take up a role in a resort. Wow, please let us know the resort so we can go and get discount. No, did I say that too loud? All right, that's brilliant. I think that hustle and bustle of KL City going to Sabah to take up a role in a resort, that's a big change. And I'm assuming that most of you are doing this pivot is because of passion. Is that so? Right? I mean, Azrul was very clear. It was passion. Yes, yes. I mean, yes. Right? And then did you realize that by doing so, you actually, if it's the right passion, work is so much more easier. Right? So that's important. To survive, alamak. Okay, to survive. That's fine. We are all a survivor. Yeah. I'm quoting Beyonce. So we're all a survivor. Don't worry. Um, I think that sometimes when you do things, you make calculated risk, and that's one of it lah, right? Making that pivot moment. All right, so the key thing that I wanted to share with everyone was that, how do I know if I pivoted correctly? In a simple way, one is to make sure that you've done your preparation. That's very key. You scoured the market, you've understand, you spoke to people, you spoke to recruitment agencies and whatnot. Remember, you're incomplete, you don't know. You don't rely on your gut sense only. Always ask around and get your plus and minuses. Always have long-term backup plans. So long-term backup plans is that if you want to do something, you've already planned ahead. If this doesn't work out, what can I do? If you set out a plan like that, I've got 2 years to try out. Now I've got 3 years to do this and I give it my best. So for instance, like myself, I gave up corporate world, high flying, top paying, and now I'm going into business and I'm managing 3 business now. Is it a struggle? Yes. But I know that I have a timeline for myself. I've got 2 years to make this happen. So my backup plan is I can always go back to corporate if I want to. refine and reach out. So this one here, remember my incomplete leader journey is learn, trial, error, learn, trial, teman terbalik, and then you get a very nice refined plan ahead. So that's very key. Okay. And last but not least, it's okay to make mistakes. We all learn. So the incomplete leader is all about learning from mistakes. All right. I'm surprised I haven't heard from Sheila. Sheila is a major pivoter, and she's not even in Malaysia. Sheila, are you there? Sheila, jangan malu-malu. Oh, Sheila must be very busy. Okay, never mind. We'll get back to her. Don't worry. All right. So we've done pivoting. Let's have a look at number 2 point for the incomplete leader. Yeah. Number 2 point for the incomplete leader. Ta-da! Sensing. So this one here is very basic. I'm not going to talk about your EQs lah, your IQ, your awareness, your profiles, portfolio. That one is a must. Sheila tak ni husband. Okay, I shouldn't say that loud. Lama. Okay. We shouldn't be talking about. I don't want to go into great detail. I'm going to just talk the basic stuff about sensing. All right. So most of you are Honda fans right now. Honda sensing kan baru. You can detect when you're driving, takkan langgar orang, boleh parking apa semua senang, right? So it's something like that, yeah. This sensing that I'm talking about. Let's have a look. All right. Bring out your ninja sensing. What does that mean? So I've written down the 2 things here, ears and mouth. So I'll teach you Japanese. You can remember this if you want to. Ears is mimi. Ears is mimi. And mouth is kuchi. Mimi and kuchi. So cute, right? Sounds like name of cat. All right. But these are the key things. When you, I know Darwin, you're a comms trainer. So, it's always about listening. It's always about communicating. These 2 elements are very important. God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth, right? Yeah.
Right, there's no escape.
Yeah, there's no escape, right? Yeah. But how come that guy's mouth so big? So all those kind of comments will come out. But the incomplete leader really emphasizes on not only the ears and the mouth. Okay. To put it in context, imagine that I invite you to go to a friend's house that you have no idea, and you go into the house. All right. So how do I act? What do I do? Okay, go back into the incomplete leader. Use your ninja sense. So what do I need to know? What do I have to prepare? My eyes, and strangely, my nose. Huh? What does sensing have to do with nose? So eyes is very interesting. In Japanese, it's called me, M-E, me. And then nose is hana. So it's the same as flower, hana. Okay. So you have your mimi, your kuchi, your me, and your hana. All right. So the eyes is everything for you to see. So for me, in my journey traveling overseas, I always tell people that whenever you step up from the plane, I always appreciate everything, the sight, sound, the smell, all that. Yeah. And it's important that we utilize our, senses, our deriya as much as possible. But why nose? Nose, I'm not saying that, incomplete leader, all these senses kena bagus. Pergi office, hey, this guy tak mandi 2 hari lah, boleh bau. No, I'm not asking you to do that. But the nose is important because that's the intake of air. So if for you to achieve a heightened sense, you're going to make sure that you breathe calmly. And only then you'll be able to fully utilize your vision, what you look at, what you hear, and when you speak. All right. And once you achieve that calmness, this is where you open up your heart. So heart is called kokoro. Let me just, sorry. Let me go back. Okay, can you see the heart? Okay, so it's the heart. So heart is called kokoro, Kokoro. Or another way to say it's also Shin. Right, so this is the same as the Chinese writing. So if you are able to master those 4 senses, it's very good. So we don't need to go deeper into EQ and communication and whatnot. For the incomplete leader, whenever, wherever, or whatever that you come and see, always use your most basic senses to determine and understand your environment. Okay, you can only see through your eyes, you can only hear through your ears, and you can only speak through your mouth. All right. All right, so I got a special challenge. Let's take away the seriousness. We go into some simple activities. I want to see your ninja senses. This one is an activity. Please try and put in your answers onto the chat room, right? I'm going to show you some sample images. And these images, you try and use your senses. You see your eyes. Your eyes is going to be your main senses, and then your ears, because I might give away hint depending. All right, I'm going to give you 3 hints, and you have to guess what this is. Let's have a look at the first one. Cuba try test your senses. Yay. Ta-da. So I got this nice image. It's very colorful. It's like an artwork, you know. It's something that I've seen quite recently. I really like it. It's in line with this month's celebration. Okay, don't worry. I know it's going to be very hard. You have no sense what this is. Let's go for the next one. So suddenly your eyes start thinking and start seeing that, oh, there's so many colors, and I can see a hand. I think looks like a hand, but the colors are like, oh, wow, okay. All right. So we got Wonder Woman plural, and then Wonder and Woman separate. Okay. All right. And a question mark. All right. So we're very close. Ta-da! And there you go. That's the first answer. It's actually Wonder Woman. Good job. Good job. I think Azro, you got the right answer. Please claim your prize from AL training after the show. You won yourself a new Honda Sensing. Everybody cut the recording. I was going to guess Peacock Power. All right. Okay, I got one more. One more. Let's play one more simple game. Yo. Super try test your senses. First one. All right. This is someone's shoulder. Shoulder with a very light colors at the back. Someone's shoulder. So that's a hint. Someone. Yeah, someone. Azila like K-pop group. Oi, apa ni? BTS. BTS sounds like a train station, but all right. Oh, Darwin, you're very close, very close. Obviously, someone has been doing the homework all year. I have accidentally sent away the slides. Ah, ta-da. It is correct. BTS lah. Opa. Good job. So your senses heightened because you are focused. All right. Tying this in from a training perspective, I just need a shoulder. I know, right? We just need a shoulder to cry on. We just need a shoulder to look on. You already know. I mean, what if it was my shoulder? What if it's Darwin's shoulder? How would you know, right? Yeah. But anyway, you've done your research. But the key thing is, is that when we are focused and when we are attentive, all your senses heighten. That's when you heighten your ninja senses. All right. But why is it so important to have your senses attuned? Because changes, everything is changing around you. So you've got to make sure that you are aware. And once your ninja senses are aware, you know what is happening around you, your environment, what is happening within you, because you're focused, because you know what you need to do, and then understand that it's the time to assimilate. Okay. And you always think outside the bigger box. No, don't think outside the box, because those that are here are all leaders. So you have to take a bigger box. Because I'm tired of people saying that, hey, let's think outside the box. Yeah, you guys are every time think outside the box. We think outside the bigger box, right? Let's think much bigger. If you're doing a plan for 1 month ahead, plan 3 months ahead. If you're planning a plan for a year, plan for 3 years. Have a vision. All right. But the truth is, the worst thing to do is to do nothing at all. All right. Contradictory to that song, when you do nothing at all, this is actually when change come. If you don't do anything at all, it's actually very bad. All right. So make sure that once your senses are heightened, you have focus and objective, realize the things that are happening around you, and do something about it. Now that's what the incomplete leader is all about. All right. So we have done our second part, pivoting first and sensing next. Let's see what's next. Now this one is very interesting. I put this in because I thought that it could resonate with some of the people here. Ta-da! Reluctance. So 2 words that it's either reluctant or reluctance. Now who can appreciate or understand this, that sometimes when you are being forced to take on a role or responsibility, you feel like malasnya, I don't want to do this. Please don't be me. Please don't be me. I don't want to manage people. That's the hardest thing. Has that happened to you? If yes, please say yes. I'm sure some of you already, just now some of the information that I got from you is relevant. Yes, memang malas lah nak deal, malasnya. Oh yo. Oh, big yes. Ayo. Almost always. Hey, come on lah. Hello. Cannot. I thought we in a leadership training here. Ayo. Yes, I turned down. Ayo. Okay, never mind. Be honest. That's what it's all about. We need to know, right? So there's a few of you, or most of us, when we're given a bigger role, we don't want to. I took it on and have cried every day since. Wow, you want me to put back incomplete song just now? I think that would be very nice, right? Very timely. But don't worry. Let's have a talk about this. It's a very interesting topic. Discovering your incompleteness, right? So reluctance is not everyone wants to be leader, even though they never realize they're actually already one. Okay. If you remember back just now, the 4 things that I classified that you should know, a hint that you are a leader. Okay. Just the key point is that for everyone to know is that one, it has nothing to do with the title. You can have your title, like I said, you're Director General ke, Prime Minister ke, apa ke, backdoor Prime Minister also. Doesn't matter. If if you don't know how to speak, you don't know how to lead, you're not a leader. But the most important part, what can make you change is actually find your wingman or your wingwoman. This is the key. For me, why I have always held a role in management and senior management is because I make sure that my team under me is way better than me. They can cover me at any point in time. Right? Wingman is very, very important. You can't fly in solo. You can be Wonder Woman, you can be Superman, but if you're alone, tak boleh. Look at Marvel, Avengers, they're all a team. The Justice League, the 2 versions as well. Zack Snyder's Justice League also, see, they're all wingmans. They got their pairing. It's very important that you have that team to support you. And for those that are reluctant, don't worry about the emotional side. Whatever that you're doing now, your work speaks for itself, right? And this is what I find. People who motivate me when I'm working in a team are those that can do their job well and they really enjoy what they do. So I always tell them, dude, this job is awesome. In this way better than I expected. Pure natural leader. This is something that you realize. And most guys will go like, Rizal, boleh lah. But that's enough for me. That's good enough. Don't worry about the people side yet. Think about your deliverables, what you need to do. The people side will take time on that. Okay. Once you have all that, then you can redefine what leadership means to you. All right. So constantly redefine what leadership means. People think that leadership means dealing with people. In actuality, it's not that. You can have someone else to do the dirty work for you. Okay. All right. So, just as an insight, one thing about Rizal is that Rizal doesn't like policy. Rizal is all about people. So I'm people versus policy. So people is important. For me, if the people are solid, the right attitude, the right vision, same objectives, same goals, and we match on the personality basis, then that can work wonders. Even if you have a very good structure, awesome computer, brilliant system and whatnot, if you get the right people, that can push you to the next level. So, always redefine what you mean by leadership. Okay. Now I'm gonna go and talk about something very interesting. The incomplete leader hotpot. Again, a Japanese word that I put in for you. This also is probably the same for Chinese. That's called nabe. So nabe is a hot pot, right? And this one here is when you do something when you're not sure. If you like, most of you are reluctant leaders, some of you, and then some of you are being put into the position you have to do it. How do I know if I'm meant to do it? This is the way to check it. Now, I'm all about food. I love food. Darwin also, dia memang suka food. Betul tak? Betul, kan? I'm very sure, and of course, Irwan as well lah, because he's gonna belanja me next time. But this analogy is very important. For me, I always use food as a description for leadership. Now, the topic I'm going to cover is a bit different, but to make nabe, you got to get good ingredients. That's the people. You got to have proper process to cook it, cut, prepare, store this, all the right stuff. That's the process. And then the passion into it. That's where the design, your Instagram, selfie with the hot pot and then gambar apa semua, post and then get all the likes that you want. That's the completeness. But what I wanted to talk about was actually this. All right. So to make sure that the hot pot does well, you need to boil it correctly. You got to boil it at the boiling point. All right. So if you look here, let's assume that the boiling here is the intensity, the effort that you put in the work that you do. All right. So if it's 0 degrees, right, that one, click, 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 click. This is the cricket sound and nothing is being done. This is quite common lah. When you are excited, jom buat project jom, blah, 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 blah. And then you WhatsApp, dia 3 hari tak balas. And then blue tick semua. Okay. Then you got the 30%, the 30%ers. Okay, the 30% guys, minimal effort. Okay lah. You just do contribute bits and pieces. Then you got the sub sway. I don't know if I spelled this correctly. Sub sway. Jade, is that correct? Sub sway. Okay. My gosh, my Chinese is not as good as my Japanese. So 50-50. Yeah, you contribute, you're not so sure, but you just give your idea. You don't really care about the outcome or whatnot. That's 50%. Now, when it's 75 degrees, let's work together. There is some amount of focus. You got the job done, but a lot of it, the gist of the work is being done by someone else, but you got to deliver. But when you full focus, you put it at 100 degrees. This is all full boiling pot. You're getting everything, all the ingredients mixed together. It's timed properly and so on. You get a very, very perfect dish. But what we want is, for those that are reluctant, is to try and see if you can go beyond 1 extra degree, 101 degree. So if you have not pushed yourself, you wouldn't know where your capability, what you can actually do if you really, really focus. So what sets apart a leader from the rest is the effort that they do. So if you are saying that you are doing your work and then you have a target, let's say if you're doing something to do with sales, if you're doing training or anything, try and quantify it. All right. Okay. Bye-bye. I see, I gotta go. All right. And if you have a target, say that your target is 10,000 for this month, 10,000 ringgit, 10,000 USD. Let's try and set it at 10,500. Let's try. I know it's above and beyond. Try and push. If my training, I'm supposed to commit 3 hours, that's fine. Try and commit 3.5 hours, an extra bit, that one additional degree. Because all these athletes, all these successful people, they always go above and beyond. So this is one of the things that I felt is very important for people who are not sure whether they are meant to do this job. If you haven't pushed yourself, you haven't broken the duck. You haven't gone off your comfort zone. You are snug and comfortable. That's why you feel that you don't want to do it. You may challenge me on this, but it's something that I think everybody should give a go. Do that 1 extra degree more. Don't overpromise. Don't over deliver. Just 1% more, 1 degree more. Okay. All right. So I have one more small activity. I'm gonna ask you guys to think with me. All right. So I want you to choose a dish and use it as a tool to describe a leadership element. This is for fun. Rizal loves to use the food for something. Just go back to Forrest Gump. Life is like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're gonna get. If you're not sure what to think about, I'll give you 1 minute to think about. Life is like 2-minute Maggie, right? So easy to cook, very nice to eat. 3 minutes later, you're hungry again. So that's very bad. Okay, let's think of a food that you can use as an example and describe the leadership element of this. This is creative thinking. Okay. All right, guys. So let's try and think of a food that you can relate. I got plenty. I was trying to write something on LinkedIn of life. It's like a nasi lemak. It's always very soothing and calming, but the spiciness will bite you if you don't watch carefully. Let's think of a food. Let's go to the big honcho himself, the foodie. Everyone, are you there, everyone? I'm gonna put you on the spot, man. Why don't you choose a food and then try and describe a leadership element to it? Yeah, life is like something.
What about patin tempoyak?
Yes. What can you describe? What is the patin tempoyak? What's the element there that can be used as a learning point?
It has to be fresh all the way. Otherwise, people won't eat it.
Okay, very basic. Yang itu semua pun macam tu betul. Kalau dah basi tak
Betul.
boleh makan. Wow. Oh, we got plenty. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate it. So we've got Punchoy Ivan. That's very nice. Uh, Ice cream. Make a decision before it melts. Oh, the on pressure cooker, man. So I had to eat very quickly. Okay, cool. Very good. Korean samyang double double spicy noodles. Fiery, passionate leadership. Always driven and motivated. I know, right? It's very yummy, very easy, accessible, but very passionate. When you eat it, it burns. Wow. So I know that if I owe something to Dina, I'm gonna watch out because she burned me after that. I'm very keen to hear from Mubarak. You got anything, Mubarak? Anything from your side?
I would like to use nasi lemak since my favorite.
Oh, okay. So how would you describe that from a leadership element perspective?
Basically, nasi lemak is fulfilling. So leadership, if you do correctly, if you have the right sambal, the right all the ingredients, the right
Wow.
the nasi with santan, so it's very fulfilling. Leadership is like that.
Oh, okay lah. But dietary requirement buang luar lah. Okay. And Azila's got a nice one. Rendang teamwork as all the ingredient mix all together. Yes, exactly. And then if it's raya, I mean, for me, every year we will do our own rendang and cook. And the amount of time you spend to turn the bloody thing, right? Kacau, 3 hours. But it is worth the effort. Slow and steady, right? Slow and steady. Okay. Anyone else? Darwin? You're waiting, Darwin. Hey. Please lah, put energy. Faisal says satay, nice, but if don't follow, we cucuk them. Exactly. I think that's what we need. Yes. Oh, what's this? Curry mee. Spicy and nice to eat. Hot, but got to be careful with it without the right technique. Splash and shirt and stain. Wah, this one boleh buat iklan sabun. Very good. And then Azrul again, leadership is like siput sedut. You sedut thinking ada isi inside, but turns out to be empty. When you try very hard to bring out the best out from people, tapi sometimes memang kosong pun. Ayo, not trying to be negative guys, but sometimes it's like this lah. We try, but they don't reciprocate. Got to make peace with this and don't blame ourselves lah. WabiSabi, man. WabiSabi is never about imperfection. It's transcience, meaning that it's only temporary and it's imperfect. But the curry mee one's very nice. Very true. Spicy and nice to eat, but you definitely have to eat it carefully because how many times, this is about preparation, risk management, right? Risk management. Okay, Darwin, you have enough time to think. You better come up with a nice one.
I think Korean barbecue, bro.
Oh, Korean barbecue. Oh, 안녕하세요.
But there's so many things involved, right? Like you have to like practice and learn to make sure you barbecue the thing right.
Yeah.
Because leadership it's day by day, right?
Yeah.
Like you say, you have to make mistakes, and also the patience. Going back to the siput sedut, right? Like there are people who will take a lot of time to bring things out of them.
Yes.
So the patience to you
Yeah.
just patient lah. Like
betul.
you have to keep it all in,
Yes, exactly.
Extremely important. That's what I think. At the end of the day, it's fulfilling, like the nasi lemak, but a little bit more healthier, I think. But add the salad, boleh wrap and all that.
Yeah. Oh yes. That's the beauty, isn't it? These barbecues, Japanese barbecue or Korean barbecue. Korean barbecue has a bit more flavor. Japanese barbecue is very direct. Sometimes there's nothing on top of it. But even though it's very basic ingredient, there is some skill to it. So never take things too lightly lah. But I'm still thinking that the siput sedut description, right? Life is like a box of siput sedut lah. You never know when you can, sedut. Very hard. Okay. Yeah. All right. Kimchi, patience in grooming and leading the team will lead to the best teamwork. Yes. So if you ever done kimchi before, if you ever made kimchi from scratch, it's like it's a big gamble. It takes slow and easy. You got to pre-prepare it and you got to leave it for a long time, long process. But then the joy that comes at the end is amazing. You cannot go wrong if you know how to do it properly. Brilliant. Oh, I love this. But somebody, nasi lemak is healthy, what? Yes, got cucumber. Ni apa ni, Irwan? Rending ke rendang ni? Rendang lah, I assume. Okay. Nice, nice. And I think I saw Jade also veggie wrap the meat as the barbecue lah. All right. So we've got quite a lot of response or support on this front. That's very good. So I'm looking at the time. We're just slightly over. Just want to say good job. Yay. Everyone, just tap yourself at the back. It wasn't easy, but you guys did it. We tried to make a difference. Try to make a difference one step at a time. As a recap, one, pivoting, you have to know when to kona, you know where to turn. Sensing, remember that you have to be your ninja senses. Ninja senses always available, always use your basic senses. And third part, your hot pot, the reluctance. You're reluctant, you're not keen, but unless you really push yourself, you wouldn't know. Yeah, because you need to burst out from your comfort zone. Very important. Yeah. I can't find anything that is outside of comfort zone on a food yet. If there's any description that you guys have, just think about it and share. Okay, but there's so many more to come from the Incomplete Leader. The book will be ready somewhere mid 2021. So guys, please stay tuned. All right. So basically, I've come to the end of the session. Thank you so much, Darwin. Nanti kita boleh sign, kita buat live session. And before we round up for today and open up for the Q&A session, just want to do some highlights. One for April, Yummy April, the art of luxury food, that is coming back. If you have a look, so I think that they have already run a session before, and lots of interesting things that we're covering. So you got your session there listed on the dates on the screen. Caviar, le saffron, foie gras, bluefin tuna, abalone, bird's nest, white truffle, and wagyu beef. Did I say it? Did my French sound right? Right. So can learn so much about food. I think food is key. Very timely that we talk about food just now. And of course, stay tuned. There will be another AMF session coming up in April. They have yet to decide, but please do scan these barcodes here, or even QR code, or even go to their website or LinkedIn, Facebook, or Instagram to find out what is coming up soon. Okay, so before I close off, this guy is coming back up here. I want to just open the floor up to everyone. Let me know if you have any questions or things that you would like to ask.